أما بعد قال تبارك وتعالى بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تبارك وتعالى أيضا يا أيها الذين آمنوا يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. Alhamdulillah, my respected brothers, elders, and sisters. First of all, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and praise Him. The fact that we're sitting here and we're praying Salat al-Jumu'ah and in a state where we're in obedience and we're safe to practice such obedience. Obviously, as everyone must have heard the news around the world, that everybody gets this chance. And we don't even know if this chance will last as long as it has right now. Just like them. They didn't plan for something like that to happen. That tragedy that occurred over there, obviously there's so many different aspects to talk about. We don't want to get into so much of the negative and conspiracy behind all the things that's going on with media and Islamophobes and things like that, which I'm sure everybody is aware of, and if not, everybody can research it. But first of all, we have to obviously make dua for our Muslim brothers and sisters. All of our condolences go with them and their families. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala show them mercy, and the afterlife, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala shower the mercy upon them on the day of judgment, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala enter them into a Jannah al-Firdaus with His mercy. All those, there was even people that were injured who didn't go to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but now their lives will be transformed for the rest of their life as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala use this as a means of mercy and forgiveness for them and ease their life in this life and the hereafter. And then not only that, but the families, they're also traumatized as well. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on them. And even now, maybe people who are not even there present in a completely different country, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove that fear from them and continuously keep them strong in their faith and shower them with His mercy on this life and the hereafter. And it's not just a one-time thing. We should constantly be making dua for our brothers and sisters all around the world. This is one incident, but all around the world right now, our Muslim brothers and sisters, and even other people who are oppressed, who are not Muslims, we have to ask for afiyah for all of them in this life. And for our Muslim brothers, we ask that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgives them and showers them with His mercy. After recognizing that, we have to understand one thing. This is not something new. This is not something new in the sense that it's not just we expect something like this to happen in this time, but even to the point where it's mentioned in the Quran over and over, starting from a long time ago with Ibrahim alayhi salam being thrown into the fire, to Bani Israel being oppressed by Fir'aun, and Ashab al-Ukhdud, who were a group of monotheistic Christians who were forced to be jumped into the trenches of fire. And now we see the same thing, something similar happening, although it's not a literal fire, it's a different type of fire, which we as human beings progress to that extent that now people are attacking men, women, children, elders, and for the same exact reason. Now the only comforting side to it that we have is that this is what the Prophet ﷺ is constantly making dua for. One of the du'as the Prophet ﷺ always used to say is, "O Allah, make the best of our deeds at the end." And for our brothers and sisters to go, to return back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on a Friday, while they're all in the state of wudu, while they're praying Salat al-Jumu'ah, in the obedience of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then there's not a better deed than that. As the Prophet ﷺ says in the Hadith Qudsi, he says, "Oh my servant, the easiest way for you to get close to me is through the fara'id. It's through the obligatory acts." And this is an obligatory act that's mentioned in the Quran that everybody adheres to. Majority of the Muslims, even if we don't come to the masjid on regular prayers, which if we can pray at home and at work, which is fine. But in this one, you're supposed to leave everything. Leave the dunya, leave where you work, leave whatever you're doing, and come to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's house. And this is the state that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took them back. The other thing also is that the Prophet ﷺ, certain ways that people may pass away, he said that they will get the reward of martyrdom. For example, somebody who drowns, somebody who dies through drowning, somebody who dies while being burnt. These things, the Prophet ﷺ says, they will die as if they were a martyr, means they're forgiven. Why? Because that pain and that traumatization, some scholars say, it's so great at that time that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala used that to forgive all of their sins. So it's as if they're a martyr. And to them also, to our brothers and sisters in New Zealand, when that fear and that traumatization that came to them, this is also a state that inshallah Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with this will grant them martyrdom, and they will go back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with forgiven without any sin or burden upon them. The last thing that I want to mention about that is even some people, they said that, and a lot of people, Muslims and non-Muslims, are praising the brother, the first brother that was shot, that in the camera you can hear the person. Obviously I've not seen the video, and it's taken down. Inshallah nobody even tries to look at that video. It's not something that we want to watch or anything. But for those that, for the time that it was there, those people that noticed it said that the word that came out of that brother's mouth, the first person that gets shot was "Hello, brother," and bringing that person in and showing him hospitality while he sees the gun in that person's hand pointed at him. And this is the kind of person that sees a good deed in a chance, no matter what the situation is. So that person is also, like I said, praised by many people, Muslims and non-Muslims, that look at what a person of hospitality that person is given and look what he gets for it. But that hospitality is going to be rewarded in Jannah when he goes back to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now, the cause of this is not something, there's, like I said, there's so many different aspects to go to what caused and everything. I'm going to leave that. But one thing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in a certain few ayats in Surah Al-Isra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains this as it's something that's going to occur. And sort of gives us the reason and the causes and the solution for it just in those couple of ayats in Surah Al-Isra. First, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَمَنْ كَانَ فِي هَذِهِ أَعْمَى فَهُوَ فِي الْآخِرَةِ أَعْمَى وَأَضَلُّ سَبِيلًا. That really the cause of this is blindness. That whoever is blind in this life, they will be much more blind in the afterlife, and they will be more astray. And that's what causes these kinds of things. When someone becomes blind, it's not the type of blind where we can't see anymore, but we don't hear anything. We don't see the truth. We don't want to acknowledge the other side. And that person just becomes blind to anything opposing their own opinion. And that blindness can just continuously fuel and make that person take greater steps as days goes by, and to such that it can lead to such an incident. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says after that, to show that it wasn't something new, and obviously it goes in stages. First Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَإِن كَادُوا لَيَفْتِنُونَكَ عَلَى الَّذِي أَوْحَيْنَا إِلَيْكَ لِتَفْتَرِي عَلَيْنَا غَيْرَهُ وَإِذًا لَاتَّخَذُوكَ خَلِيلًا. This is something that right now is probably happening to us, community members, our children in different places. What happened to the Prophet ﷺ as well. And if the people have the audacity to know who the Prophet ﷺ is and to offer such an offer to the Prophet ﷺ, then it's no doubt that it's going to be offered to us and offered to our children as well. And that's where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that what they try to do is they try to bring some kind of they wanted to try to lure you away from the truth and try to say something different than what we revealed. And this happened with Wafd Thaqif, a group from Thaqif. They came to the Prophet ﷺ and they said that, you know, why don't you let us continue worshipping Allah? All the other stuff, okay, that you make haram in Quraysh, you make haram on us as well from the past. But what about just let us keep Allah? And they kept pushing the Prophet ﷺ, and it's the Prophet ﷺ, he had the kind of, obviously the merciful attitude that he didn't want to cut off discussions. He wanted to try to win them over, but he's not going to compromise. And obviously, right when they kept pushing the Prophet ﷺ, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed this ayah. In another interpretation, scholars they say that there was actually when the Prophet ﷺ already went to Medina, and the Jewish tribe over there told the Prophet ﷺ, you know, most prophets came from Sham. You're over here in Medina. You know, if you just go there and prove to us that you're a prophet from Sham, we'll actually follow you. And to the point where the Prophet ﷺ actually considered it that maybe if a group of people can come into the fold of Islam, what's wrong with me migrating there? And they told him such things where they would say, if you are the Prophet of Allah, I mean if you fear Rome, you're the Prophet of Allah, Allah is going to protect you. Why fear Rome? Just go there and we're going to follow you. And again, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to other scholars, they said that this was the sabab al-nuzul which caused this ayah to be revealed. So what they're doing is they're not only just coming and attacking, but they're using the Quran to try to confuse and get people to go away from the Quran and go away from what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala revealed. And this is a fitna that's going to continue happening. It happened to our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, it will continue to happen to us, and it will continue to happen to our kids. And look what the condition that's coming after them. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're going to say, you know what, we'll be friends after that. Just let go of this part, keep this, compromise something, we'll be friends after that. We'll get along. But the Prophet ﷺ was told by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that after telling them that you were about to take lean towards their opinion of what they were going to do, and obviously this talking about the people that were telling them to go to Sham, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِذَا لَأَذَّقْنَاكَ دَعْفَ الْحَيَاةِ وَدَعْفَ الْمَمَاتِ ثُمَّ لَا تَجِدُ لَكَ عَلَيْنَا مَصِيرًا. If you had done that, if you had compromised, because why? Obviously, the more friends you have, the more authority, maybe power you can have. But over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, you would have tasted, we would have you taste the weakness of life, the weakness of death. And then you will not have found any helper against us. And what that does is, sometimes when you compromise, I mean, we're not even talking about Islam, let's say about friends. Let's say we're just deciding to do something, or maybe at work, we just keep our mouth silent when we want to say something. Later on, we see things not going our way, and our hands are tied at that point. Whether it be a family issue, work-related issue, friends issue, whatever it is. If we compromise and we later see that it doesn't go our way, we will sort of have this thing within us that just shows that we're just tired and we can't do anything about it. The only problem is when you compromise the faith, 100% is wrong. With everything else, it's a maybe. Should I stay quiet? Should I not? Yeah, I want to do this, they want to do that. It's a maybe. You can't really tell. Sometimes they'll go other way, sometimes they'll go your way. With the deen, it will never go our way. If we go against Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and compromise. And then after that, we're trying to get help from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we can't. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then says, and this is a current issue right now, that another thing that they're trying to do, وَإِن كَادُوا لَيَسْتَفِزُّونَكَ مِنَ الْأَرْضِ لِيُخْرِجُوكَ مِنْهَا وَإِذًا لَا يَلْبَثُونَ خِلَافَكَ إِلَّا قَلِيلًا. That this immigration issue that's going on right now, this was the cause of this, what occurred in New Zealand, and a cause of a lot of different problems occurring all around the world, is immigration problems. Get out of my country, this is mine, not yours. And over here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says that, and they were about to push you to remove you out of the land. Whether it be the one incident or the Quraysh where they pretty much forced the Prophet ﷺ to move out of the land, or it was the second incident where they told him to go to Sham, to go to Syria. One way or another, they just said it was out of jealousy, and they said, you know what, this is our land. That's their intent. Why don't you go over there? And they're enticing and pushing the Prophet ﷺ out. This is not something new. This is actually happening, like I said, right now, and it's still going on. And it went on throughout time, whether you look at the Holocaust, whether you look at what happened with the Native American Indians over here, what happened in British and India, all around the world, it's the same exact thing. That's causing a lot of bloodshed. And it's no different because it happened to the Prophet ﷺ as well. People are oppressing, killing without any discrimination of who they are, simply for a piece of land. The believers, what we're supposed to, the ideal believer, we know this is not our land. This is not our place to live. This is a place for us to pass through and pass every single test that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts before us. There's no need to oppress. To the point where even the Prophet ﷺ, one time when he was narrating the story of Habil and Qabil, and it's in the interpretation of Habil and Qabil, where the two sons of Bani Adam, they actually, one murdered the other one. The Prophet ﷺ told the Sahaba that there's going to come a time where there's a lot of corruption and people will be slaughtering one another. And when the Sahaba asked, well, what do I do if somebody jumps into my house? He said, be like the son of Adam, where he says, if you're going to extend your hand to kill me, I'm not going to extend my hand to kill you. Like that brother who said, hello, brother, when opposed with that, he gave them hospitality. It will come to that point. Now, again, this is not to be naive. Not to be naive and just say, okay, well, there's nothing to worry about. It's all qadr from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We just continue doing what we're doing. If something happens, something happens. That's not using our intellect. That's what we have to do, is we have to keep ourselves, our children, our families, we have to protect them. And even in a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, anybody who dies while trying to protect himself, his wealth, or his family, is actually a martyr. So it's not something that we don't. We have to take care of ourselves, and we have to know self-defense. We have to go extra about to make sure our institutions, the masajids, are all safe and secure. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala giving us the solution. For the sake of time, I'll just get to the solution. Now, after saying all these things, one, they're going to try to get you to lie about the Quran, try to compromise different parts of the Quran. They're going to try to kick you out, to the point where they'll even put your life in danger as well. I mean, to suggest to the Prophet ﷺ, if you fear Rome, go ahead, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will protect you. That's pretty much telling someone just like, jump off this building. If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't write for you to die, you're not going to die. But it's twisting the words to make people feel like, oh, actually, yeah, you're right. But it's wrong. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, after saying all these problems, He gives us the solution. You'd think He would say, okay, we'll get to it. You have to get your armies, you have to get your bases, you have to get everything set. But He says something much more practical. And this will lead for you to take care of all the rest as well. Both spiritually and things that you need to take care of in this life, it will lead to that. But if you just go to one side, you'll completely forget the other side. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَقِمِ الصَّلَاةِ لِدُلُوكِ الشَّمْسِ إِلَى غَسَقِ اللَّيْلِ وَقُرْآنَ الْفَجْرِ إِنَّ قُرْآنَ الْفَجْرِ كَانَ مَشْهُودًا. Establish prayer. Now again, we sometimes get confused and we think, oh, establish prayer. Okay, so I gotta pray. And we just start moving in motion. But in actuality, anytime right now, there's a tragedy that occurred. What do we do? There's a problem that occurred here in San Diego. What do? We either get a letter sent to the congressman, we go outside to protest so people can get the message. What are we doing? We're establishing relationship and communication with the people that we think can help us. And where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us, communicate with me. That's establishing salah. Talk to me. I'm going to take care of it for you. Then we'll see the different types of inspiration that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will give us to take care of both our families, ourselves, our institutions. But without going to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we'll just be completely confused. Where do we start? What do we do? What should we do? we'll just be in a state of confusion. Not only that, just write a letter or just quickly talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, get more intimate than that. وَمِنَ اللَّيْلِ فَتَهَجَّدْ بِهِ نَافِلَةً لَكَ. Don't just do the basic things that I'm asking you with the 5-time prayers. This is to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saying. In the night, get more intimate. Make the tahajjud prayer. Between Isha and Fajr, anything that's done between Salat al-Isha and Salat al-Fajr is considered tahajjud prayer. Whether we do it before we go to sleep or we wake up later on before Salat al-Fajr, all of that is considered tahajjud prayer. It's now no longer an Imam leading Salat. It's now no longer a collective dua between me and all of our brothers or sisters that are praying together. Now it's just me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm talking to him. Now I don't have to worry about what language I'm doing. Am I saying it right? I'm talking to him in a way, no one else is in this room. It's just me and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm talking the way I feel comfortable to talk. And again, if all of us are doing this, then we'll see the true inspiration that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts in every single heart, everyone's heart. And then we'll see what kind of solutions we come up to such problems. If we do this, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't even, before that, I skipped one ayah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, and then He tells us even what to ask for. وَقُلْ رَبِّ أَدْخِلْنِي مُدْخَلَ صِدْقٍ وَأَخْرِجْنِي مُخْرَجَ صِدْقٍ وَاجْعَلْنِي مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ وَاجْعَلْنِي مِنْ لَدُنْكَ سُلْطَانًا نَصِيرًا. That allow me to enter in an honorable way. And then allow me to exit in an honorable way. And give me a helper with authority from you. That authoritative help, I want that from you. Now, after we do such things, where we actually establish a relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we talk to Him with such intimacy, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, after that, all you have to do is make the claim. قُلْ وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلُ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. This will lead us to start thinking differently. This will lead us to start viewing things differently. Because now I'm talking to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is inspiring me. Then when we see that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, just say after that, the truth has come and the falsehood has dispersed. It's completely been annihilated. So it takes that. Now that's the one spiritual aspect of it. You have to understand, if we're spiritually defeated, sometimes it's very hard to do the basic things of this life. But if we're spiritually encouraged and enlightened, then we want to make things happen. People come to the masjid and say, Imam, this, we need this, what's going on? People will go to the board and say, we want this to happen. How can we make it happen? I'm here to serve. What do you need me to do? Otherwise, we're just going to maybe give an opinion and say, okay, now do it, I'll be on my way. Or we won't even give that opinion. We will not be involved. And if we're not spiritually involved to take action in the masajids, where are we going to be spiritually involved? This is the place of spirituality. This is the place where we find that peace and tranquility. If we're not spiritually motivated to protect such places, then where in our life, where in another place will we able to get spiritually involved? Everything that we need, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given it to us. And the last ayah that we're going to read, all of these are together, if anybody reads Surah Al-Isra, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَنَنَزِلُ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ مَا هُوَ شِفَاءٌ وَرَحْمَةً لِلْمُؤْمِنِينَ. Whatever kind of disease that we're going through, especially the spiritual ones. I mean, there's ones that doctors cure, and we need to go to doctors for that. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give cure to all of our sick. But then, especially the spiritual diseases, where I just don't feel like anybody likes me. I feel like I'm always alone. I feel like nothing goes my way. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says there is a cure in it in the Quran. We put in that cure and mercy within the Quran. So these are just a few ayats Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala explains to us that what occurred in New Zealand is nothing new, and and if we're not active, if we're not spiritually motivated, these things can occur in this locality as well. We have, alhamdulillah, we're trying to now work with the police station. There's some police right now in security. We're trying to change some of the systems that will take place here at MCC during the weekend schools and the evening classes, so that our kids and our families can be protected. But it needs more than that. It needs involvement of every single individual here. What can I do? This is past now just coming and praying 5 times a day. This is our very chance and our kids' chance to have a future where there is no fear. I mean, do we really want it that we have to put chains around the doors because no one's coming, because our neighbor or this masjid was attacked? It's going to demoralize us even further. But if we're involved, if we're actually continue to look at the prescription that Allah SWT has given us tonight, which is right now, so if we have nothing to do tonight, when we wake up, after we pray Salat al-Isha, if we know we're going to be we're a heavy sleeper and we won't wake up till Fajr, after we pray Salat al-Isha, pray 2 rakats at that time, make that tahajjud prayer, talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The first thing we should do is ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to shower His mercy and forgiveness on our brothers and sisters in New Zealand. After that, we should start asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and talking to Him, saying what we want and what we need. And there is literally a hadith where the Prophet ﷺ says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks in the last part of the night that who's going to ask me for something so I can give it to them. So this is an action item, and if we can actually do that, and then we do it the next day again, we do it the next day again, and we start really making it a part of our life, don't ever leave it. Because if you leave it even once or twice or something, you'll see that it will slowly just move out of your life again, and you have to restart it. Don't leave it ever as soon as it gets started. And even that's an advice from the Prophet ﷺ says, don't be like so-and-so. He used to pray Salat al-Tahajjud and then he just let it go. Only then will we see not only just us sitting back and reacting to events, but we'll actually take an active role to make sure we make our masajids and we have security and we feel safe when we're worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it easy for all of us. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us for all of our shortcomings. Inshallah, in the second khutbah, we'll also make dua for our brothers and sisters over in New Zealand. And then also our brother Hafiz Salman, his grandma recently passed away. We'll make dua for her as well. And I also want to shower her with his mercy as well. And she actually, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him. I mean, this is also another miraculous story where she went to Umrah and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took her return back to him in the time of Umrah. In Umrah in Medina when she went to go perform it. So literally, I mean, there is those things that yes, we are saddened for losing our loved ones, but Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for those that takes them in the best of situations, then they're the ones that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala truly shows His mercy. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور. إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له ونشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له ونشهد أن سيدنا ومولانا محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وعلى آله وأصحابه وسلم. أما بعد قال تبارك وتعالى أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم إن الله وملائكته يصلون على النبي يا أيها الذين آمنوا صلوا عليه وسلموا تسليما. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد وبارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. اللهم اغفر للمؤمنين والمؤمنات والمسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم إنا نسألك موجبات رحمتك وعزائم مغفرتك والغنيمة من كل بر والسلامة من كل إثم. نسألك ألا تدع لنا ذنبا إلا غفرته ولا هما إلا فرجته ولا دينا إلا قضيته ولا مريضا إلا شفيته ولا إلا رحمته ولا حاجة من حوائج الدنيا والآخرة وهي لك رضا إلا قضيتها لنا يا رب العالمين. اللهم اغفر موتانا وموتى المسلمين، اللهم اغفر موتانا وموتى المسلمين، اللهم اغفر إخواننا وأخواتنا الذين قتلوا في نيوزيلندا يا رحمن يا رحيم. اللهم ارحمهم في القبر وارحمهم يوم الحشر وادخلهم الجنة الفردوس برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم ارحم من جرح في